Have you ever loved something so much that you just want to make it happen every day? Me neither. This is a podcast a day. Pod a day, Dr. Way 200. No, every time. 300 and I think 15 now. We're cooking. We're already smoking this now. We've really got the ball rolling. I say that. We're only halfway into January. There is still 11 and a half months to go. But I'm just great. Thanks for asking, as I know you did. Um, I really do like podcasts. Oh god, I really do like podcasts, right? And I don't know why all of a sudden my eyes have started watering. It's like I'm getting emotional. No, I really do love podcasts. Okay, and I listen to enough. I listen to a normal amount. Sometimes I think in my mind I listen to way more, and I look and then like it'll be bedtime. You know, that's a thing for adults too. And I'll be looking through like what should I pick, and I feel like I only have like four to pick from or something, which feels like really low. Um, you know, and occasionally, I'll listen to a podcast, and it's like this with a lot of types of content. It just kind of just does it to you, and it's like you're like, wow, like it's just like really good. They got like a really good thing going on. They got like just a great premise or like a really cool set, or they just got like they just got great vibes. And I listen to that, I'm like, oh, this is amazing, this is great. And I can't just enjoy it because I know I have to come back and I have to sit here and do this. And I just go, it's just, there is levels to this game. There is, hopefully one day we'll reach those levels, but there is truly levels. I got this big jumper on because I just needed something, and it's not cold enough to be wearing it, and it's like right around my neck, and it's kind of feels like it's eating me up alive, and it's just still too much. Okay, that's a lot better. But yeah, okay, we got a couple things here, a couple things that sort of tickled my fancy. Don't like that as a phrase. Don't even know what it means. But Troy Deeney basically is where we're going to start today off with. Which honestly, starting your day off with Troy Deeney, you know, wrong side of the bed, waking up. It's the same kind of category, and it's just like sounds awful. I don't want to start my day off with Troy Deeney. I don't want to end my day with Troy Deeney, and I don't want to see him anywhere in the middle. And but here we go. Basically, Troy Deeney as a manager is he isn't a manager. He's a professional roast artist. He thinks he's in a rap battle, not a rap battle. Are they called rap battles? When you can like go back and forth with someone and nothing's off the table. You can talk about their dead parent. You can talk about whatever you want. It's like you can go in as hard as you want. That's all fine. Troy Deeney takes every press conference as just like a free invitation to do that, instead of talk about like anything that happened in the game or any kind of like just the stuff you would imagine a manager talk about. He just takes every opportunity to do what most would consider as career suicide, which is just chuck your players under the bus. And also, if you do feel like your players are shit, like usually when like you see a manager start to chuck the players under the bus, it's when it's getting to the end of what has been a long or medium or shortish managerial term, right? And they know the players are down in tools, and they're like, I'm probably about to get sacked. You know what? Like you see a lot of managers do it, and like when they start doing that, they're probably gonna get sacked in a game or two or three, right? And they'll start to like call up, not as much as he has in like these first few press conferences already, but call out some players. And I'm not sure how long Troy Deeney's actually been manager there. That'd be an important bit of information to know, right? But it's usually coming from a place where like that like weren't good enough because you think they're downing tools on you. Like I said, I don't know how long Troy Deeney's been there, but if your players are already downing tools on you this early, right? Then, and that's what you think, then that doesn't reflect great on you. I know it's downing tools is like not a great thing players should do, right? But like that doesn't look great on you. And if they're not downing tools and they genuinely are just playing as well as they can and they're not very good, then you're just an asshole. Like if the situation is they are playing to the best of their ability, and the best of their ability is wherever they are right now in League Two, and they're not doing very well, right? and they're struggling, or they're playing to the best of their ability and they could be playing better, but for some reason there's a mental block and they're stuck in a losing streak or whatever it is, and you're coming out and like just like roasting them, like this man can't kick a ball. I bet he couldn't even do 4 kick-ups. Onto him, shit hairline. Mum doesn't love him, and he's shit in goal. He's got crisp packet wrists. Next one, like he's just taking it in terms of like knock everyone down. I gotta find the exact tweet, and when you hear it, usually it's like you see like a paragraph from like a celebrity or a manager or a footballer or a sports person or anyone, and it's like you without a video, it's hard to know the context, it's hard to know the tone. You give benefit of the doubt. Sometimes it makes people look good, sometimes it makes people look bad. The video is like text makes him look $1 million compared to how it sounds on video. It sounds even worse. The tone really is everything and more. It's not good. Now, I think I liked a tweet which had exactly what he said, which I'm trying to find right now. But yeah, especially like he has a player in his side. Dabo, I think he used to be in Chelsea's academy. I think I recognise the name, and he had the opportunity to send Coventry up because Troy Deeney's the manager of Forest Green Rovers, who are in League Two, and Coventry was in the Championship, and I think there was a spot kick away. They got to the playoff finals, and I don't know if he had the decisive penalty. I'm assuming so, which could have sent his team up, and I guess he missed it, and then they scored to win. Not a great thing to happen in your career, not something you probably want to relive, or you want to put it behind you. You don't want to be defined by that moment. And this is what Troy Deeney said in the presser. And by the way, Troy Deeney's doing this off of very little, like, he's not being pushed into a corner like, Dabo wasn't great again today. Do you want to explain to us why? Or why did you drop him in the lineup? It really feels like you listen to the press conference and the guy goes, so you lost today, and you can't even finish it. And Troy Deeney's he's already off on one. And then a minute and a half later he finishes and he'll go, so you don't mind violating your players? And before he can even finish that sentence, he's off on one again, just like this whole thing. And I just feel like before even knowing Troy Deeney and being managed by Troy Deeney, I can just imagine players would already have this preconception about him and maybe not want to be managed by him just by the amount of podcast clips you've already seen of Troy Deeney talking about how he's like better at holding up the ball than Harry Kane and stuff. And I understand the point that you might be a football player who is not considered as good as like a top striker, but you can do certain things in the game better than them, aka head the ball, aka hold it up, aka who's like a top striker at the moment? There actually isn't many. If you go for someone like, I'm talking in the Premier League, you might look at, I guess Harry Kane's one. You go Harry Kane, best striker in the world, people would say, right? But obviously there's some parts of his game that, like Isak at Newcastle, not as good of a striker, but there'll be parts of the game that he is better at than Harry Kane. Like dribbling and shit, or ball control, all that type of technical shit. But Troy Deeney, and it's like I was really looking up his stats and where he played and that, and it's like, yeah, you were a good striker. You were a streets won't forget kind of player. Hog Deeney. You had the streets and you've lost them so quick. You're just tarnishing in it so much. And he scored about 130 goals for Watford. He scored about 60 in the Premier League. He was decent, but like he thinks he was like a Jermaine Defoe or like even an Andy Carroll or like a Crouch. And it's like you weren't really any of these. You're like a better version of Temu Pukki or someone. Like, I don't know how much Pukki has actually scored. Norwich haven't been in the league long enough to see if he could score many goals. But you know what I mean? Just like this championship, like this very low Prem to high championship kind of player for a short period of your career. Well, not a short period, but not like a substantially long period at least. And like, I don't know, he just thinks he's like Welbeck. Welbeck's better than you, for example. So yeah, these clips going on about Harry, and it's not even. I'm not against the idea that in the peak of his powers, Troy Deeney could be better at some parts of the game than Kane. Sure, fine. I'll be open to that. But it's just the way he was saying it as well. Like, yeah, Harry Kane's a great striker. Don't get me wrong. But like, and he was talking about himself in the third person. But can Harry Kane hold the ball as well as Deeney? No. Can Harry Kane win a header as well as Deeney? No. Will he work as hard as Deeney? No. And that's why every manager will say, I need to try Deeney. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. Every manager will hear you say that and nod and be like, yeah, sure, mate, because you're like insane. So you hear that kind of stuff, and then you have to get managed by him. And then like he's so mad that his plays aren't good enough. Like he was like, he said he said he's not been good enough for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks now. Why do you think he was dropped at the start? I've told him in front of everyone that 6 months ago he had a chance to kick a ball to go to the Premier League. Now he wouldn't even get a game in the National League. Which, like, if you have a player who you finally got to like your wits end with, and they had this exact situation, and they were showing up to training late, and they weren't putting their all into it. And it's like you were up here, and then you came down here, and it's like you let it slip, and this and that. Whereas if you have a player who's coming into, I don't know if this is the case, but he's coming in every day, and he's training hard, and he's never late, and he's doing his best, right? And yep, 6 months ago he had a chance to kick it to go Prem, and now he's down here in League Two, and he's still not playing well. But like they're doing all the things right. It's like, why are you gonna call them out for that in front of like the whole team, and then call them out for it in a press conference to the world, and then say you called them out in front of the whole team while saying it to the world, I guess. When it's not something he's actively, it's not like, oh, he's kind of just lost the drive, or he's not playing. It's like a thing he could actively change. If he's actively trying to play well right now, and you're just making it worse, it's just bang out of order. And like having this kind of mentality, right, of like, it's not that hard. I've told you the system, go out there and play it. Like, you knock it into him, he overlaps, creates a space, you cut in, you whack it top bins. Like I remember this being a thing with like Mark Hughes, when people were saying like, as a manager, because he was like technically good as a player, he couldn't understand when he would give him his players plays and shit to do. Like he would show them on the training ground, just do it like this, and then the players just technically weren't good enough to do what Mark Hughes was telling them to do, right? I get that being an issue for like a Thierry Henry managing like in the MLS, or like Mark Hughes, whatever, at Southampton. I think that's where the story was from, or like if it was Rooney managing at DC United, or like these type of players. You're Troy Deeney, right? I feel like you should understand that, like it's having that same issue that like Rooney or fucking Mark Hughes or like Thierry Henry might come into like contact with when first becoming a manager, and they got to start off with a worse team, right? Is a little bit more understandable than you, Troy Deeney. Again, he's not like, he wasn't shit, he was good. For like what though, like a 3-year period for Watford, like I just like chill out, man. And I'm not saying just because you're in the Championship doesn't mean you're still not doing good things, but I just mean if you want to act the way you're acting, it would at least make a bit more sense if you were like, an actual great or something, like, Premier League player. So very good, and he does this like every week as well, which is just another thing. Like this isn't just like one big outburst; it's like kind of just this every week. And he gets his little specs on, his little glasses that probably don't even have, that probably just has clear lens in, and he stands on the touchline like he's like he's a thinking man now. It's just like, your manager puts contactless glasses in and thinks he's a thinking man. It's just like, chill out. But Troy Deeney will be what Troy Deeney does. Like Troy Deeney strikes me as the type of guy, he's gonna follow a Joey Barton kind of route. He's gonna try the management thing for a while. He's gonna try be a pundit, maybe. He's gonna get bitter, maybe that it doesn't work out. We'll just find a new thing to be problematic about. Probably something it's probably like some toxic masculinity type thing. That'll be the lane he goes down, and he'll just kind of follow Joey Barton on like these ex-pro players who weren't happy with how things went in management or punditry, and then have now just taking a sort of Twitter approach to their career. So I don't know. The only other thing I got here is Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa, the famous pop star who everyone raves and rants about, right? And that's what I always see on my timeline. That's what I always see on my Twitter. And for so long it's been pictures of Dua Lipa And then every time it's the same joke. People will quote tweet it, and it'll be like a picture of like a dog barking or something like ruff, ruff, it'll be like um a picture, that meme of that guy wearing the dog muzzle with his XL bully breed, and it'll be like me after I've seen that picture of Dua Lipa, and it's like everyone loves you, everyone rates you, everyone thinks you're like you're like the peak. And then all it takes is like one dodgy angle, maybe, or one like weird lit photo, or one like photo that people don't vibe with, and all of a sudden now my whole timeline's been Dua Lipa's so overrated. Like I've never got why everyone raves about Dua Lipa. She was like Darwin Nunez, like Dua Lipa this and that, and it's like wow. I mean, I'm indifferent on this topic, but it's just like all it took was one rogue angle or something, one rogue photo, and everyone's opinion completely changed. All of a sudden, it was, hey, I don't know if it's a safe, like no one was saying this before that photo arose, and now it's like it's free reign. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, what the phrase is. But yeah, but yeah, um, that's all. That's all. I was gonna go into something else. I was thinking, is it worth it? Do I need to? Um, but nah, we'll save it for another day, maybe. This was 315, I think. I'll see you in the next one. Pod the day, Dr. 316. Thank you very much. Goodbye.